Hello everyone, in this masterclass I'm going to show you how to improve your chess with one simple technique that I call the calm play technique. I am Diego Villanueva, I'm a chess coach. I coach PC adult players improve their chess, and today in this masterclass I'll show you how a simple shift in the way how you play can lead to faster and more significant results. So let's start. Here's the magic tip. Learn how to slow down to play real chess. Okay, most people, for some reason, they play very fast. They accelerate when they don't have to. They rush. And if you're the type of player that make blunders all the time, then you should stop it. You should try to slow down a bit, because if you don't, you're gonna mess it up. Many chess games are lost not because of bad moves, but due to fast, shallow decisions. Okay, for example, let's say that you can simply develop your pieces, but instead you try to attack your opponent. It's like a checkmating one threat, and you play something like Queen d3 to create a threat, and then your opponent can simply defend it. And not only that, he defends it, at the same time he gets some initiative and he counterattack you, and you just wasted an important tempo because you try to attack your opponent. But the idea was superficial. We're going to talk about superficial ideas later, but this is very important. So here's the thing. If you simply slow down your pace, not your clock, but your internal pace, you will stop making surface level moves. This is what I call the calm play technique. So maybe when someone wants to, when you Google and make some research about how to handle blunders and what do they happen, most people are going to tell you, hey, slow down. But what does that mean? That means that you learn how to slow down your internal pace. As a player, instead of feeling the urge of making the move, you can feel it, but you need to know how to handle it. This is more about the mentality, okay? You will feel the urge of making a move that looks extremely obvious, right? But you need to stop that feeling. Handle that feeling. Not because you feel the urge, it means you're going to evade to that urge, all right? So here the technique is learning how to slow down your internal pace, and you will see that in your games. So this is the power of thoughtful play. I want to show you an example of a game I played the other day. It was a rapid game. As you know, rapid is one of the time controls you can find in Lichess or chess.com. And in this case, I was playing a 10-minute rapid game. My opponent played too quickly, okay? And I, however, slowed down and asking the crucial questions. What are his intentions? How can I improve my pieces? Are there any immediate threats to stop? And that helped me to find useful ideas. This led me to play the move rook to c8. And it was a quiet yet powerful move that improved my rook and anticipated his knight to e5. Okay? I'm going to show you this example so you see what I mean. So I remember this game. This game made me a 2300 rated player. And in this position, my opponent played bishop e2. As you notice, this is we are playing the opening phase. I may be slightly better because I'm already castled, right? It's important that before you make a move, you try to understand what's going on. Most people just see a position, it's their turn, they make a move that makes sense. If a move, for example, allows you to create a threat, people make that move. Because why not? It creates a threat. But that's not a strategic way of making decisions, right? Just because something looks good doesn't mean you have to act on it, all right? It's more important that you slow down. So again, every time you feel the urge of doing something, slow down, okay? Slow down. As you notice here, okay, so I have this position. I was thinking about what can I do in this moment, because there are many ways. There are many possibilities. I could bring my knight to e4. I could take his knight, right? So I was thinking about what he can try here, because this bishop is always annoying, pinning this knight. And I was thinking, okay, if I would have the white pieces, I could try knight to e5 for many reasons. Number one, if for some reason I trade and queen trades, the queen gets in the center. Also, with a queen on e2, this king can castle queenside. And with a pawn on h5, since there is no this bishop, and the queen is on e2, white could play something like g4, h5, the king can castle queenside. So I was thinking about how my opponent can play this position, and I was thinking about, again, knight e5, bishop takes, queen takes, and then g4, h5, and lone castle. That was the idea I was expecting for the white pieces. And Now that I know this, what I try here is to anticipate to this idea, and at the same time, not in a reactive way, but in a way that allowed me to improve my position. And I found this idea, rook to c8. Rook to c8 is what I call a simple build-up move. Build up because it's helping me to improve my piece to improve a piece that is not participating. But at the same time, I am calculating something important. Also, I want to take a look at this. Right now, I don't know if you can notice this, but I have 9 minutes, all right? By the moment I play rook c8, I have 8 minutes. It took me 1 minute to figure out this move. Now, the move in itself it's simple, all right? But it's the depth behind the move. Because you'll see that with this move, I am anticipating to 95. From here, 95 is a mistake. Because you'll see, I will enter into a series of trades where I'm going to have an advantage. And I calculated all of this. In fact, here my opponent played the move 95. Which makes a lot of sense if you don't calculate this. Now, here's the thing. Take a look at the time of my opponent. I invested 1 minute to make my move. And my opponent, in this position after rook c8, he got 8 minutes and 33 seconds. After this move, he has 8 minutes and 22 seconds. So he spent what? Less than 15 seconds to make his next move, which is a clear sign of not controlling your internal pace. He had the idea of attacking and playing 95. He did it. He didn't verify if the idea still works, and it ends up being a blunder. Because after bishop takes c2 and everything is forced, and queen takes c2, I have knight takes c5. And what is the problem with this? With my rook on c8, I'm threatening on c2. And he has to take my knight. The problem is after rook takes c2, I am completely winning because I'm attacking his bishop. And here's the thing. He took on f6. And I think this guy, he's a 2200 player, so he's good. I think this guy calculated something until this point, and he saw at the end, he got the move pawn takes knight. So he was like, okay, he's attacking my bishop, but I can take his knight. So it's okay, I take his knight, he takes my bishop. Everything is fine. But he missed one simple thing. And again, his position is much worse, okay? But he's not completely losing. He has 8 minutes with 16 seconds after, and then he takes my knight. Look, he has 8 minutes, 14 seconds. So in 10 seconds, in 2 seconds, he captured my knight right away. And he missed this move, pawn takes f6. Maybe he was expecting me to capture his bishop, or maybe he was expecting me to capture his knight with my bishop. But for sure, he didn't see the move pawn takes f6. And the reason why pawn takes f6 it works so well is because it opens the e-file, and basically I'm gonna get the queen in the next move, and he resigned. And at the end, this guy got 8 minutes with 14 seconds. I have 7 minutes with 49 seconds. I took more time, all right? But I play a better match, okay? And I'm not gonna say like all the moves were easy. I had to find them, but I think I used my time better than him. What is the lesson you can get from this explanation? Essentially, it's like something that you will find very often is people making moves that look sharp, but most of them are superficial. And look, 95 is sharp because he's attacking my bishop, he's attacking this, there are so many threats, right? So whenever someone makes a move where everything is under attack and he does it in a matter of seconds, most likely that move is a mistake. And the way of playing that situation is by taking your time and slowing down. But you will feel the urge of responding fast for some reason. Don't obey to that feeling. Don't obey to that urge. Slow down. It's not about just spending time on your clock for the sake of doing so. It's more about recognizing how you feel and taking your time, okay? And make that deliberate effort of being like, okay, it's my turn. How can I play here? Done. It's a different focus, okay? Great. I hope that makes sense. Let's see the next sample. So here's the main lesson. Stop blitzing your longer games, okay? Many players treat 10, 15, or even 30-minute games like blitz matches, all right? There's no need to do so. In my game, you saw it. I was playing a 10-minute game, and at the end, when my opponent resigned, I still had 7 minutes. My opponent had 8 minutes. So we spent less than 5 minutes. In fact, instead of being a rapid game, that could be a blitz match, all right? So stop treating your training matches, your blitz, your rapid matches, your daily matches as blitz matches, because there is a value on playing longer time control games. Okay, but if you play very fast and you lose in the first 3 minutes, or you get losing positions in the first 2 minutes, then you are losing all the benefits of playing slower time controls, and you are just wasting your time. I mean, it always depends on what are you playing chess. If you're just playing chess for killing some time, then go for it. But if you want to improve your chess, you need to be a little bit more deliberate with your effort, okay? Especially if you don't have a lot of time for chess. So use the time allocated to make meaningful decisions. If you're gonna play a 10-minute game, 10-minute game, 15-minute game, or 3-minute game, this is like a powerful frame I teach my students. If you're gonna play a 3-minute game to start to practice, go for it, but you need to be ready to use your 30 minutes, okay? Because most of the time people play 30-minute games and then they get losing positions in the first 5. They lose the queen in the first 3 minutes because you're playing fast, okay? So you need to have a different mentality. Okay, I'm gonna set aside 15 minutes. I'm gonna play a 15-minute game. So if I have 15 minutes, my opponent has 15 minutes, this is gonna be a 30-minute game. I'm ready to play for the next 30 minutes. Doesn't matter what happens, regardless of the outcome. And you'll see, start doing this, and you'll see a difference in your performance. Okay, so I'm gonna show you last game, another game, same winning pattern. This time I play against a higher rated opponent, and same scenario unfolded. He rushed his first 12 moves, and even though I knew the opening, I didn't rush. So recognizing moves isn't the same as understanding the position. So this is a game I was playing against someone who is higher rated. It was an interesting match. I want you to take a look at the time. Always pay attention to the time. Okay, how much time I spend, how much time my opponent spent. So he played e6, I played knight c3, d5, pawn takes, bishop g5. All of this is part of the theory, okay? And well, we play pawn to e3, pawn to h6. Notice how, even if it is a very small detail, but it's important, we are in the move 7, okay? I have spent more or less 11 seconds. He has spent 5 seconds. He's playing the opening very fast. Now, I have played dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of games like this with d4. I know this opening by heart. He also knows his opening by heart, maybe. And still, even until this day, after all these years I have playing chess, I still taking my time in the opening phase. Because I have the time to think, okay? And here's the thing. You can always treat your chess as a way of recognizing how you feel and what are the emotions you have inside of you, and change them, okay? Because chess can become a very mindful practice. When you play a game like this, especially if you're a competitive person, you'll notice that sometimes you want to win, right? You feel that inside of you, and you're always like, prepared and ready to make your next move. But in fact, you should slow down a bit and consider different angles, even if the next move looks extremely obvious. So when I play bishop h4, he played bishop e6. He's playing a subline of this defense. Usually here black castles kingside. So I just continue with my development. Bishop to d3, knight to d7, knight e2, knight g e2. All of this is pretty standard. He played rook c8. I castled, and okay, yeah. Once again, I have 9 minutes 12 seconds. He has 9 minutes 43 seconds. So he still has some time more than me. It's not a big gap. It's okay, but he's playing very fast. And then he plays c5. Before c5, he has 43 seconds, 9:43. After c5, he has 9:40. So he spent 3 seconds to make that move. When he did this, he revealed important information. Two things. First of all, of course, he wants to open the center. That's clear to me. But the second thing is like he is making superficial moves. That's the second. That's the second information he's revealing. Because c5 in a context where it's okay. Eventually, you want to hit the center, but doing this with the king in the middle can be very tricky. Okay, I wouldn't recommend you to go for it when your king is still in the middle. So I calculate this a bit, and I recognize the move wasn't good. So here's another important lesson. Let's say that you're playing the opening and your opponent makes a move that is annoying, but he's playing very fast. Most likely he's just bluffing. He's not doing the right things. His moves are interesting, but there should be a way of refuting those ideas. and it's your job to find how to refute those ideas. It's not going to be easy all the time, but you'll see. You should punish superficial ideas like this. So I captured on c5. I calculated this. Again, it took me some time to figure out what was the best way, because here I could ignore him. I can play knight f4. I can take. I can play knight f4. I can take. I can play rook ft1. I have many moves, okay? And I contemplated all of them, but I realized after pawn takes, I have a check here that is very interesting. And that's what I did. Pawn takes, knight takes e5, bishop e5 check. I think this was the best way of attacking this king on e8. He played knight d7, I capture, he capture, and again, he's playing very fast. Like, we're in the move 14, and he has 936. He has invested less than 30 seconds in his first 14 moves. And again, why do I care so much? Because that gives me confidence. Every time I'm playing a game, it doesn't matter who's in front of me, but every time I'm playing a game and I know I'm doing the right things and my opponent is playing very fast, I know that move by move he's making an inaccuracy. Move by move. And that's a good feeling, okay? Most people see the other way, like, oh, my opponent is playing fast, he knows something that I don't know, maybe I mess it up, maybe he's overconfident because he's better than me, you know, blah, 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 blah. Nonsense. You should stop that. And that's why I'm telling you, like, the chess practice is pretty, you can learn a lot from you, essentially, when you play chess. And for me, the chess practice, the chess study, the chess training process is more like a mindful experience, because you should pay attention to these things. It requires a good number of, a decent portion of self-awareness. Anyways, he captured on e7. I still take my time because my pace is pretty like normal, pretty steady. I'm not changing my pacing. After rook a1, simple, good move. I'm putting pressure on d5, and now you have a problem because you're the one who decided to open the d file. My d file was closed until you play c5, but after this, and this, I have access to the d file, and now you're struggling to defend the square d5. Thanks to you, no one else. He played knight e4. This move again is a mere shallow, superficial move because he's spinning my knight, but he's not doing a lot. And how can I get unpinned? I play queen e4, and I'm still putting pressure into a lot of things. He played a6, bishop takes. Apparently that wasn't the best move here, but it's an okay move. Bishop takes, queen to d4, and I still have the advantage. This is the stuff I calculated. So right now I have 7 minutes, he has 9 minutes. He is ahead in terms of time, but he's in trouble because I'm attacking d5 and there's no way for him to defend all of this. Knight takes, and now d5 is a losing cause. After castle and knight takes e5 and queen takes c5, well, the game continued this way. He put some pressure here. I found this tactic, and eventually, some months later, I end up winning the game, right? But in fact, here, after knight takes e5, I'm completely winning. Here I made an inaccurate move. The inaccurate move I made was knight to b6, because here I'm doubling this, but he has bishop h3 attacking here and here. I have queen d5 luckily, and the game continues, but the best move here was simply h4. h4 attacking the queen. If he goes queen g6, I have knight e7 check. And if he goes queen d8, I have knight b6. And now I can play knight b6 and I win a piece. And still, I won the game. The game was very sharp. After bishop h3, I play queen d5, defending on g2, attacking his queen. He played rook c8, I capture, and then I play knight e5, creating a threat on e7 and a threat on the bishop. He played here, pawn f3, attacking this bishop, bishop e6, knight e7 check. What I want to show you, regardless of this, is again, in this game, it wasn't the perfect game. Again, you don't need to play the perfect game of chess to win chess, to beat stronger opponents. Most of the time, you don't need to keep learning more stuff from the theoretical point of view. Okay, the courses are not going to tell you with this. You can watch many courses, you can read many books, but this stuff is not going to tell you about the pacing, all right, the mindful aspect of the game. And it's important that you start developing better habits to improve at this. So yeah. Here are some key reflections for better chess. First, use your time. There are no bonus points for finishing fast. Use every second. Okay. Second tip: slow down in openings. Even if you're familiar with the opening, double check and orient yourself before making moves. You won't get any rewards if you finish your game in the first minute. All right. You won't win the game. You won't beat your opponent if you get like a time gap of 3 minutes. All right. And the third step is avoid autopilot. Okay. Don't play like every time you feel the urge of making a move, don't do it. And also avoid distracted play. If you're in the car, if you're in a cab, if you're in the lunch break, that's not the optimal space to play chess, because doing the self-awareness exercise of asking yourself the important questions in that environment is hard. It's possible, but it's hard, unnecessarily hard. If you want to play chess still during those moments where you can't focus that much, play Blitz, for example. So, some unrated matches. But for serious practice, doing an environment where you can catch yourself, thinking too fast. All right? Also, distracted play leads to preventable blunders and frustration. You don't want that, right? So stop confusing speed with skill. In chess, slow is pro. Now, sometimes there's the other spectrum, right? Like people that they spend way too much time to make a move, and they end up having less time, ideally, or you can have a great position, but then you have 1 minute and your opponent has 9 minutes, and there's a time gap. So that's not ideal too. This is important from the mindset, right? But there's also another component from the technical aspect, okay? So that's why today I have this for you. I have created what I call the Daily Chess Wins method. And it's basically a method that I teach my students to recognize, to spot any position, read the position pretty quickly, or at least in a good time frame, and find a good move from there. For example, that move Rook C8, the questions I ask myself to prevent a move like Knight to E5 in the first example, this is part of a toolkit I teach in the Daily Chess Wins, which is a workshop that I recorded. And if you want to learn from it and you want to join all the other hundreds of students that have worked with me, well, you can do it if you get the Daily Chess Wins workshop, okay? If you're ready to apply these ideas, check out my $5 training, Daily Chess Wins, and I'll show you how to stop making rush, random moves and start making smarter decisions that lead to real wins. All right, if you want to access it, you can take a look at the link below. You'll find a link, or well, here's a link as well. You can go to this link and get the course, and you can, this is gonna be a nice welcome to my world, so you can see my stuff and what is the process as an adult player to improve your rating. How to go from 1,000 to 1,200, how to go from 1,300 to 1,600, from 1,600 to 2,000. I haven't seen it all, and I have worked with people who were stuck for many years, and I helped them to improve from whatever the rating to the goal to 1,800, 2,000, and much more. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you find value out of this conversation of the internal pace, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next videos.